Good evening. Good evening. Anybody there? Good evening. The class is going to start in a few moments. Okay, so please come to this online classroom. This week the lecture is also going to be conducted online. Okay, but I hope that next month, probably in the middle of the month, okay, in the middle of February, the class is going to be back to normal, i.e. the normal classroom. Okay, I'm going to let you know later. At the moment, the class is conducted online. Okay, now according to my screen, okay, I have about 11 students. Okay, so I hope that the rest will be coming here very, very soon. Okay. Again, can you hear me? Okay, if you can't hear me, then you can just let me know. I have got a message from the Nitit, okay, Panya Satira, okay, saying that good evening, crop. Okay, yes, we are here. Can you also tell me, Tina Lu, whether you can hear me all right? Okay, I'm going to make sure that the signals, okay, whether audio signals or video signals are okay for you. Okay, now I'm behind the screen. Okay, I'm behind them in the camera. Okay, and a moment I'm going to go to the desk where I'm going to be sitting at. Okay, so right now I have got a message from Tina again informing that everything seems to be okay, and again also a message from Nampat saying that you can hear me clearly. Okay, very good indeed. Okay, so if from time to time if you encounter any problems, okay, with regard to the signals, okay, audio signal or video signal, then you should let me know. Okay, on time. Right now, let me just go to the desk. Okay, now. Good evening again. Good evening. Okay, so I hope that everything seems to be much better than last week. Okay, last week I think that I have the Wi-Fi here, the speaker. Okay, the last speaker which seems to block your side. Okay, it's blocked the screen a bit. Now I have made adjustment into the position at which the last speaker is placed. Okay, so that nothing blocked your view now. Okay. So let me just sit down. Okay, the thing is that when I try to move around, okay, the camera at the smartphone or also at the tablet seem to do the autofocus so that the picture can become blurry. So I, for this purpose, I try to limit my movement. Okay, as much as possible so that you can have a clear, okay, the picture. Okay, now I'm going to look at our classroom, the online classroom at through this mobile phone. Okay, if something goes wrong, then I think that I will just have the knowledge of that. Okay, and try to just make adjustment. Okay, where is that? Do I see myself on the screen now? No, not yet. I have not seen my show on the screen yet. Okay, so then let me just go to our online classroom right now. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, where is that teaching session? We know that we are in teaching session number 2, correct? Number 2. Okay, and the topic for this evening is still the CISG. Okay, I hope that you don't know what the CISG is. Okay, so again, wait, just give me a few seconds. Okay, so that I will just go to our online classroom, International Business Transactions Law 2021. Yes, now I see myself. Okay, I see myself now at via this mobile phone. Okay, so if you encounter any trouble, any problem, then just bring your attention to me. I have, according to my screen here, okay, the 18 students. Okay, so welcome to this online classroom. Okay, lastly, remember we talk about what? We talk about the CISG. Remember, the very first topic of our course is the UN Convention on the Contracts for International Sales of Goods, or for short we call this one CISG. Okay, last week we looked at important facts, okay, regarding this CIGs, okay. So this week we will continue from where we stopped last time, okay. So we have seen already that CIG seems to be very popular, okay. So that many countries now, as of the January, as of this month of this year, okay, there are a total of what? A total of, I think that means 90 something, right? 90, not 90 something members of the CISG. Let me go back to, the what? Let me go. Sorry, I put the wrong button. So that is the I think that forwards rather than backwards. Okay. Wait. Let me just yes. We now come back to this slide. Remember, as of what? As of today. I mean, perhaps as of what? As again, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, I try to just go back as of January. Okay, as of January then to 2020. Okay, how many people? How many members now? There are 94 members. Okay, so that that there is in fact very large participation from the world. Okay, participation towards this CIG. Okay, but unfortunately, Thailand is not on the list. I mean, and as we have seen from the lecture last week. Okay, I mean, if we look at some countries, if we look at some countries around us, okay, we can see that. My God, I mean, I pressed the wrong button again. Okay, so that means wait. Where is the status of the member? Yes, this one. Okay, you can see that Vietnam joined CISG. Okay, and this seems to be a list of countries which are the neighbors or the around us. Okay, in ASEAN. Okay, you get what? You get also North Korea. North Korea is not in ASEAN, okay, but I mean that is not even far away from Thailand. North Korea also joined in 2019. Even Laos, okay, Laos, the country which seems to be landlocked, no sea at all. Okay, Laos has even joined CIG in 2019. So I hope that Thailand is going to join this the CIG very soon. Okay, that has been said last time. Now we begin with the scope of application. Okay, as we have seen, that it doesn't mean that CISG applies to all international sales. Okay, in order for sales, okay, in question to be covered by the CISG, you need one thing. You need internationality. Okay, requirements. Okay, CISG applies to contracts for international sales of goods. Okay, how do we know that? I mean, the contract in question, it is a domestic sale or an international sale. Last week we explored quite a lot. I mean, the criteria. Okay, for determining the difference between inter sale and domestic sale. And I have brought to attention that in Thai law, our law. Okay, in our law we have not had clear the criteria for making the determination of inter-sales and domestic sales. Okay, but CISG does contain a very working criterion for determining the internationality. Okay, we will talk about that. Okay, and we will also see that some matches, some sales are excluded from the application of the CISG. Okay, and also the contracts, even though they look like sale, okay, simply because we have sort of delivery of goods. But if we consider carefully, we will see that it is not the sale per se. Okay, even though it involves sort of the delivery, but it is not. It is not a sale per se. Okay, it is come close to a sale, but it is not a sale. Okay, it is not purely sales. Okay, so we will see that those transactions, the transactions which look like sale, but they are not the pure sale, are excluded from the application of the CISG as well. Okay, and also certain matters are excluded from the application of the CISG as well. Okay, we will see all of this now. Now we begin with the internationality. Remember, for a certain question to be covered by the ambit or the scope of the CISG. Okay, it has to be an international cell, and in order to tell whether or not a certain question it is an international cell or not. Okay, CISG come up with the criteria. Okay, the criteria are this. I mean the two parties, let's say the A and B, we use the language A and B, okay, for convenience or for ease of understanding, okay. A and B, the parties to the contract, must have places of business in different states, okay. This is the very first thing, okay. In order to trigger the internationality requirement, okay. So A and B must have places of business in different states. Not only that, okay, there are two choices as well. Apart from the fact that A and B, have places of business in different states, okay, we require either one of these first, okay, both states, okay, are contracting states, okay. In in this situation, when A and B have places of business in different states, and those two different states are contracting states, then CISG will apply. Okay, in this case, we call the application in this fashion as the direct application or direct applicability. Okay, but there is also another option. Okay, apart from the fact that A and B must have places of business in different states. Okay, maybe not these two states are contracting states, but maybe one of states is just a contracting state. The thing is that the rule of PIL, the rule of private international law, leads to the law of the country, okay, which is a contracting state. Okay, that in the situation, okay, the application in this situation, it is known as the indirect application or indirect applicability. Okay, we begin with the first one. Okay, remember the first one it was. The first one is that A and B, both parties, have places of business in different states, and okay, when they have place of business in different states, those two different states are contracting states. Okay, so A and B, when A and B have places of business in different states, and both states are contracting states. Okay, now look at example here. Okay, let's suppose that again we have A and B. Let's suppose that A has a place of business in Australia. I'm gonna try to make sure that the loudspeaker works. I don't know. Sometimes most of the time the loudspeaker just stop after 20 minutes. That seems to be the setting from the factory, and I try to find out how to erase, how to delete this factory setting. Okay, but sometimes I have done say that the Wi-Fi, the loudspeaker still stops after 20 minutes. So if this happens, then please just allow me to just put this loudspeaker into function again. Okay, so don't be surprised if it stops, and I have to just turn it on again and again at the interval of 20 minutes. I hope that it will not happen today. Okay, again, back to A and B. A has a place of business, let's say in Australia, and B has a place of business in where? In Germany. Okay, you can see that in this case, both parties A and B have places of business in different states, and we look at these states. The first one is Australia. The other one is Germany. Okay, you can see that both Australia and Germany, okay, they are contracting states. So in this case, both parties have places of business in different states, and these different states are contracting states. Okay, so that in this case, CISG will apply to this contract. This contract it is an international sale, okay, which falls within the ambit of the CISG, okay. If we look at in this channel, okay, we can see that in this situation it falls within Article 1.1a. If you look at 1.1a here, okay, this convention applies to contracts for sales of goods between parties whose places of business are in different states. See, this is number one. And okay, the states are contracting state. Okay, two requirements. Okay, places of business of the parties are in the different states. The parties have places of business in different states. This is number one. Number two is that those different states are contracting state. Okay, so when we have the requirements under Article 1.1a like this, CISG will apply. Okay, the verification in this situation it is known as the what? As I have mentioned. Okay, it is known as the direct application or direct applicability. Okay, so we normally this seems to be very straightforward. Okay, so the consequence of this situation is that CISG will apply. Let's suppose that again back to the facts. We have A and B. A has a place of business in Australia. Okay, Australia of course it is a contracting state. Australia it is a member to the CISG, okay? And B has a place of business in Germany. Let's suppose that A purchased, the goods. A purchased 100 tons of iron, okay, from B. B is an exporter in Germany, okay? And Germany, it is also a CISG contract state. Let's suppose that A and B, they made a contract in Germany. You know that when A and B made a contract in Germany, okay, we go to the PIL rule. Remember, let's say that when B is a seller, okay. B now wants to sue A because the buyer A is buyer B, A okay has not yet made payment on the price, and B, the seller, wants to sue A, the buyer. B sue A, let's suppose that in a German court, because B is in Germany. In this case, when the contract was made in Germany, okay, we apply the PIL rule. That I have told you that PIL rules seem to be very rather universal. Okay, the contract is going to be governed by the law. Now the microphones switch off because the speaker just switch off. So I now put it back. To function. Okay, so that's why I tell you that this one just stopped after 20 minutes. I don't know why. Hello. Just wait for it to be back. The two is working the function. Wait. Hello. 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 Oh my God, what's wrong with that? Now it doesn't seem to work. But I hope that you can just hear me well. Right. Again, I try to just put it back to its full function. Hello. What's wrong with that? Let me see. Okay. So, very good. Okay. Perhaps I just pressed the wrong button. Well, sorry about that. Okay, back to the fact again. Now it's 5:57. I think that it's going to stop again in the 6:17. Okay. All right. Now, remember that A has place of A has a place of business in Australia, a CISG contracting state, and B has a place of business in Germany, also a CISG contract state. Okay, the contract was made in Germany, and B wants to sue A in Germany. According to the PIL rule, the contract, okay, is governed by the law of the place where the contract is made. Okay, in this case, the contract was made in Germany. Okay, so in this case, I mean the German court, the court which has jurisdiction over this case would have to apply which country law? German law. Okay. Of course, in Germany, okay, there are two bodies of sale law. The first one is the normal sale, the body of law which apply to normal with domestic sales. The second one it is the specific law which implements the CISG. In this case, does German court have to apply the CISG or just the law, the domestic sale law? Okay, the consideration which we have to make is whether or not the internationality requirements are met. We can see that in this case we see the direct application or direct applicability simply because the parties A and B are A and B have places of business in different states, and these two different states are just contract state. Okay, so that CISG directly applies to this case. Okay, now we look at example number 2. Okay, let's suppose that the facts are the same. Okay, A from the having a place of business in Australia, A CISG contracting state. Okay, and B has a place of business in Germany. Okay, also a CISG contracting state. Okay, but let's suppose that the contract was made in Italy. Right, and again, B, the seller, wants to sue A, the buyer, in Germany. The reason why B wants to sue A in Germany because B is in Germany. Okay, B has a place of business in Germany, so this party tends to sue. Okay, in its own country. Okay, so in this case, when the German court has jurisdiction over this case, the German court will have to apply applicable law, according to the PIL rules, according to the private international law rules. Okay, again, the private international law rules, say that the contract is going to be governed by the law of the country where a contract is made. In this case, the contract was made in Italy. Okay, so that the German court would have to apply Italian law. Okay, Italian law. But in Italy again, there are two different sets of law. Okay, the first set applies to domestic sales. The other one applies to an international sale. Okay, according to the CISG. Okay, so the question which the German court will have to consider is whether or not CISG apply to this case, whether or not the internationality requirements according to CISG are met. Okay, given that in this case, on the facts, A and B have places of business in different countries, and those countries are contracting state again. Okay, that falls within the requirements in Article 1(1)(a), which is the provision dealing with the direct application or direct applicability. Okay, I think that when these two examples are clear to you. Okay, now we come to the chapter number 2. Okay, where the CISG apply not directly, but it is the indirect applicability or indirect application. Okay, remember if we go to the Article 1(1)(b), it is the case of the indirect application or indirect applicability. Okay, the requirements are this: first, the two parties have places of business in different states. Secondly, the PIL rules leads to the application of the law of a contracting state. Okay, so we are going to look at an example, maybe two examples. In this case, okay. In example number one here, again we have A and B. Let's suppose that A is located in Germany. Of course, Germany, it is a CISG contracting state, okay? And the B, let's say B is a rice exporter in Bangkok, Thailand. In this country, in Thailand, okay, we are not a member of the CISG, okay? So Thailand is a non-CISG contract state, okay? Let's suppose that a contract was made in Singapore, and A, the buyer, A has business in Germany, okay? Now A, the buyer, a German buyer, wants to sue B, a Thai seller. Even that means the buyer has a place of business in Germany, so it sues in a German court in order to claim damages for non-conformity of the goods, okay? In this case, does the German court apply the CISG or apply, the domestic sales law, maybe the commercial code, okay? So you can see that now the two parties, A and B, they have places of business in different states. In different states, can you put an S here, okay, in different states? Okay, in the different states, okay? And only one state is a contract state. Only one state, Germany. Okay, it is a CISG contract state. The other one, Thailand, is not a contract state. So that in this case, we do not have, the internationality requirements according to Article 11A. But we have to see whether or not we have the internationality according to Article 11B. Look at 11B. Okay, remember, if we go back to 11B, going back to 11B, see? The parties have places of business in the state, and the rule of PAL leads to the application of the law of a contract state. In this case, okay, coming to this one, the two states, A and B have places of business in different states. But only one state, it is a contract state. Okay. But the thing is that when the contract was made in Singapore, okay, when A sues B in a German court, the German court would have to apply the applicable law, which is the Singapore law, the law of Singapore. Okay. We can see that the PIL, private international rules, leads to the law of Singapore. That is the contract state. The PIL rules leads to the law of a contract state. So in this case, the German court will have to apply CISG because the internationality requirements are met according to Article 11B, even though it is not falling under 11A, but it falls within the ambit of 11B. In this case, okay, the application in this case is known as, again, the indirect applicability. Okay, now I have shown the facts. Okay, the facts are similar. Okay, but let's suppose that, okay, we have one different thing. Okay, the one different thing. Okay, the one different thing is that what? Going to this fact. Okay, let's suppose that we have A and B. A is commonly located in Italy, which is of course a CISG contracting state. Okay, and B is located in Bangkok, Thailand. Okay, A purchased, let's suppose that tapioca from B. Okay, and in this case, let's suppose again that the contract was made in Singapore. Right, the contract was made in Singapore. Okay, when B, the seller, sues A in Thailand, so because B is in Bangkok, see, so B tends to sue before a Thai court. Let's suppose that B sues A before a court of Thailand. Okay, in this case, a Thai court would have to apply the applicable law. Given that the contract was made in Singapore, so that the Thai court would have to apply which country law? Singapore law. Correct. In this case, in Singapore, there are two sets of rules. The first one applied to domestic sales, the other one applied to international sales, i.e. CISG. Does Thai law, does Thai law have to apply CISG? Put simply, we have to consider with do we have the internationality according to CISG? Okay, so we can see that the party A and B they have places of business in different states. Okay, and of course, Thailand is not a contract state, and the PIL rules lead to the law of Singapore. In this case, would the Thai court have to apply the CISG? The answer is no, because Thailand is not a CISG country. Thailand is not a CISG state, so that Thailand has no obligation. Thailand has no international obligation under the CISG, so that 11A or 11B will not buy upon a Thai court. Will not buy Thai courts. Okay, so in this case, the Thai court does not need to, to apply the CISG. Okay, I hope that means you're clear about, the internationality under the CISG. Article 11A and 11B. Back to the wording in 11A and 11B. Okay, in order to to bring back your understanding. Okay, again 11A, it is a case of what? 11A, it is a case of the direct applicability. 11B is a case of indirect applicability. Okay, that if you are not quite clear, then you can just go back to my explanation. Okay, I have to move forward because now the teaching is online, so that I do not have much time. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, let's move on to look at the things. Okay, we now have seen that the internationality requirements under CISG. Okay, it is linked also to the place of business. Remember, the very first things, the very first requirements is that the two parties have places of business in different states. How do we, determine the place of business? Okay, when we deal with the places, okay, it doesn't mean that all places are places of business. Some places may not be perceivable as places of business. Okay, if we look at the explanations of the CISG. Okay, when CISG was prepared, later. Okay, after its preparation, we also have sort of a digest. The DIGESC digest. Digest. It is sort of the instrument which explains the elements or the substances of CISG. UN or the UNCITRAL has prepared a digest. Okay, you can look at the digest. Maybe on website. Okay, if you just key properly, you can use Google. Okay, you can type CISG digest, and then it will just take you to the digest. Okay, the digest give you explanation. Okay, and according to the digest, when CISG makes a mention of place of business, it requires sort of the degree of permanency or degree of stability. Okay, that means that the place in question, in order for a place to be a place of business, okay, within the meaning of the CISG, it has to be a rather permanent place. It has to be rather stable. Okay, so we require, a certain degree of duration or a certain degree of stability. Okay, so that, if one place is used, just for, a single contract, or if a place is used only for preparation of the negotiations, okay, not a permanent place, for making contracts on a regular basis, then that place is is likely to be regarded as not a place of business according to the CISG. Okay, so we can see that the following uh, uh, will not be considered as a place of business within the meaning of the CISG. First, the place where the goods are merely stored, okay, or when the abodes at an exhibition of goods, then this is not, okay, considered as a place of business according to the CISG. Okay. Also, if you deal with what? If you deal with a place which is used for dealing with the negotiations, okay, on an regular basis, okay, that is not the place of business. Also, even a liaison office is not considered as a place of business, for the purpose of fulfilling the internationality requirements in the CISG. Okay, again, the CISG makes a mention of the place of business. Okay, make a mention of what? Make a mention of, the internationality requirements, and as I have explained to you, okay, the internationality requirements, it is linked to having places of business in different contracting states, where those two different states are contracting states, or where, the PIL rule leads to, the law of the contract state. Okay, so if those requirements are met, it does mean that CISG will have to apply. Okay, so we can see that, CISG make it clear that, okay, in order for, the CISG to apply, we do not, we do not what? We do not look at nationality. So whether, the A or B, A is national of what country, that is not, material. Okay, so that we will not look at it. We will not look at what? We will not look at, okay, nationality at all. Okay, and we do not look at civil or commercial characters of parties. We do not look at civil or commercial character of the contract either. Okay, this is made clear in the, the Article 1.3 of the CISG. According to Article 1.3, it says what? It's going to be, 6.17 very soon. I think that at 6.17, then my last speaker will stop again, and I have to just put it back to its function. Okay, back to, Article 1.3 of the CISG. 1.3 of CISG says neither the nationality of the parties nor the civil or commercial character of the parties. Okay, the civil commercial character of the party or of the contract is to be taken into consideration in determining the application of this convention. Okay, so this seems to be clear that we ignore, okay, nationality. We also ignore the civil or commercial characters of the party or of the contract in question. Okay, that is something which requires to be said for clarity. Okay, now we are moving on to consider the exclusion. Okay, exclusions from the application of the CISG. Okay, even though, that when we have determined the internationality requirements, it doesn't mean that that the contract in question will be governed by the CISG all the time. Okay, because when some matters or some transactions, now it stopped, so I need to just put it back to its function. Okay, let me just switch it on again. Okay, so that we are back to the having the audible voice. It might take some time to be put back. Right. Okay. Hello, the speaker. Can you just be back to your work now? Yes. Yes, I think that is now. I mean, it is back to its own work. Okay. That means that now the about 40 minutes. Okay, that have passed now. Okay, is now in the 6:17. Right. We are going to have a break at about the 7 o'clock, or almost 7 o'clock. Okay. Again, what I just try to say is that when we have determined the internationality requirements, it doesn't mean that CISG will apply to the contract in question. Okay, even though it is an international sale, that is because some matters or some transactions are simply excluded from the application of the CISG. Okay, then now we have three groups here. Okay, three groupings of exclusion. The first one deals with the consumer sale. Okay, CISG is intended to apply to commercial sale, not just consumer sale. So that consumer sale is placed outside the application of the CISG. We are going to look at that. Okay, that is something that was by Article 2A of the CISG. The second thing is that some sales of certain types, okay, or sales of certain goods are not within the application of the CISG. Okay, they are simply excluded from the application of the CISG. Okay, these transactions are listed in the Article 2B to F of the CISG. And thirdly, there are some transactions which, even they look like sale, okay, some transactions, okay, are not purely sale, even though it look like sale in the sense that it involves some delivery of goods, but they are not pure sale. Okay, so CISG deal with this in Article 3. Okay, now we deal with the first one. Okay, we'll look at the first one first. Consumer sales. As I have mentioned, okay, CISG, the UN Conventions for Contract for International Goods, is intended to apply to just commercial sale. Okay, if the same question is in nature it is a consumer sale, then CISG will not apply at all, even though the internationality requirements are met. Okay, if you look at Article 2A, okay, this convention does not apply to sale of goods bought for personal, family, or household use. See, so when the sale is made for personal use, family use, or household use, we call that sale a consumer sale, so that it is not covered by the ambit of the CISG. Okay, but in order for that to be excluded from the application of the CISG, the seller need to know that it is consumer sale. If the seller did not know and should not have known that it is consumer sale, then the CISG would nonetheless apply. Okay, so if you look at this exclusion, it is in the Article 2A 2A of CISG. Again, I read the wording. The convention does not apply to sales of goods bought for personal, family, or household use, unless the seller at the time before or at the conclusion of the contract neither knew or ought to have known that the goods were bought for any such use. So we can see that that if I buy something for my own use, I buy my computer for my own use, that is just customer sale, and when there is no way that CISG will apply to this contract, even though when A and B, even though when the parties are in different states, and those different states are CISG states. Okay, now when we talk about the customer sale again, it is the sale for personal use, family use, or household use, provided that the seller knew of that the household use, personal use, or family use. If the seller did not know and should not have known that, then the CISG would still apply if the internationality requirements are met. Okay, so when we have when we have seen that the CISGs does not apply to consumer sales, we would like you to consider whether or not the sale in question here. Okay, in these examples is considered to be a consumer sale or not. Okay, the first one is a sale by a church when, let's say, A, during his tour of Japan, okay, he buys something. He buys a camera, okay, during his tour of Tokyo. In this case, is that a customer sale? The answer is yes, okay, because it is